Hi everyone and welcome to the Soundbath channel. I'm Helane Marie Anderson of Sacral Sounds, and I'm really excited today to have the sound healer Gabriel Logan Braun in the studio. Welcome,
Thank you
Gabriel.
so much.
You're welcome. What I'd like to start with today, Gabriel plays a lot of different instruments. He does live looping. He works in rehab clinics. He does a lot of really cool stuff and has taken sound into many different venues. So I'd like to start today by just actually having him talk about how he's used sound as a transformational tool. So if you could just tell everybody how you've integrated your sound work into using it as a vehicle for transformation.
Awesome. Okay, so wow. I would say how I use it as a vehicle for transformation is by creating a space for people to feel safe in, to be able to let go, relax, and connect with themselves. And when I say themselves, I really mean beyond the surface based personality self. I mean the self that's deep inside of every person. You could call it even your soul. That a lot of times we distract ourselves away from or we lose connection with. So I find that by using different sound healing tools, such as the instruments you described, or like the crystal bowls, different musical instruments, my voice, things that have a much more kind of organic and natural sound to them. Even though I do interface with loop and effect pedals, I still try to keep that more pure kind of natural sound. And that there's something very human about that. And so it really, I find, brings people back to their humanity and their presence. Yeah.
Awesome. And so I know that you work a lot in rehabilitation clinics and have for the past 6 years.
9 years
9 years.
actually.
9 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So tell us, if you can tell us a little bit about what it's like to work with people going through recovery and how the sound has really affected them as a source of positive change.
Yes. So a lot of people dealing with drug and alcohol addictions in recovery tend to have high anxiety and deal with a lot of depression. So when we do a sound therapy or sound bath session, it's really a great tool for helping to lower anxiety and to help people relax and feel safe, especially people who have gone through trauma. It's like they just want to be able to feel safe and okay and not re-traumatized. So yeah, it's a really powerful way to address those particular things. And also, another big thing is bringing in the component of mindfulness. And that, I've found like I've taught meditation without sound before, but when you add the element of sound, it really brings people to a whole nother place that a lot of people have challenged just meditating or just paying attention to their breath alone. They can't get to that present place. But with the sound, it's like a healthy distraction. It gives them somewhere to focus and kind of grab a hold onto with their attention.
Wow. So tell me, in your own journey, like how did you come into the world of sound healing?
Wow, yeah. It was not something that I said when I'm an adult, when I grow up, this is what I want to do. I wish I could say it was, but it definitely was not. It
So what
was,
was it you wanted to do?
I had no clue. No clue. Yeah, it was really, the best thing I could say is divine intervention. And I was going through a really kind of dark night of the soul, really challenging time in my late teens, like a lot of us go through in high school. It's a really awkward time, and you're trying to fit in, and just all kinds of things going on. And I was just very depressed, and I remained very depressed for a few months, quite some time. And a family friend introduced me to my first yoga class, and in that particular class, at the very end, the teachers, there were two of them, a couple, they played beautiful music, and they actually brought in some chanting of mantras. And I recall having the experience where I literally was like transported out of this more dense, depressed, static state into something that was like peaceful, expansive, transcendent. And I still get like tingles talking about it and remembering it. And after that happened, it was literally, I literally like got up, and I wasn't feeling as like down and deep and in my depression. And I talked to the teacher, and I asked them like, how can I learn this? Like, can you teach me? And they basically guided me to a teacher who happened to teach the flute. And she, after one lesson, basically said, go and get yourself like a Native American Lakota flute, because it's a very simple flute to learn, like a recorder. And that was what began the journey. And that was 13 years ago.
Oh, how beautiful. And so tell us, like, how many different instruments do you play?
Too many. I've lost track. Yeah. And I play all different types of world flutes, didgeridoos. I sing, I mimic different sounds with my voice, like I beatbox, or I'll make, sound of like a tabla or different percussive instruments with my voice. I play the guitar, I play the harmonium. I also sometimes will bring in like a frame drum or a buffalo drum, so different percussive instruments. And soon I'll be adding yet another instrument, which will be the handpan.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
And you created something that is offered in Los Angeles and elsewhere, the Sonic Womb Journeys, you call it. Could you tell everyone a little bit about what your intention is behind those events and what you create in that space? Yeah.
So Sonic Womb, that name came after doing these events after years, and it finally came, and I was like, wow, like I really feel like I'm in the womb. And as a baby, it's like the safest place that you can be, in the womb, your mother's womb, right? And the way that the sound literally wraps and envelops you feels like you're in the womb. And so Sonic Womb is a place where people can come, like a sanctuary of sorts, and bring whatever it is they're dealing with in their lives, and lay or sit and kind of be in this meditative space to decompress, to let go, to get in touch with their self deep within, and just kind of unravel from their week and their month. It's a regular monthly event in Santa Monica, California, and I just try to really provide a really peaceful and safe environment for people so that they can drop in. Yeah.
Awesome. So I know, I've known you for a while, and you often talk about your mentors and the people that really influenced you as you were moving along. So I wondered if you could just share a little bit about how your mentors influenced you in the positive way of working with sound and what you do now.
Awesome. So I have a lot of them. I'll mention, I'll mention like 4 of them that feels good for right now. So Govindas Rosen, or he goes by Govindas, was the yoga teacher who I experienced his first class, and later I began to play flute in his classes during Shavasana, or when you rest at the end of a class. And then eventually I learned the art of kirtan, which is call and response chanting of mantras, these like prayers and kind of affirmations to the divine. And that brought me to a whole new place within myself where I really got connected to the pure vibration and sound behind the actual like words or mantras themselves, which was really a way to like free my mind and connect me to something greater than myself. As Gabriel, who is a sound healer and does these things, it's like, wow, like I felt like I'm connected to so much more. And so that was a really, really huge thing that occurred. And then over the years, then I eventually formed a kirtan band for some time and made an album and did that. And then eventually just kind of found my way more to doing sound baths and sound healing journeys. So that was one. And another person is a mutual friend of ours, Olaf Hartman, who is a craniosacral therapist, qigong practitioner, breathwork facilitator, and I would call him sound healer too. He wears many hats, and I used to actually assist his sound baths and breathwork workshops for a time. And
I went to one of those.
yeah. Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, I didn't even remember that. And just being in his presence, he really, it's almost like receiving a transmission, I feel, you know, of being able to really ground and embody some of those, I might call them like higher frequencies or connections beyond the physical world, to then bring it through and share it with others. And so that was another big stepping stone. And then the other two are Jesse Hansen, who is a doctor of psychology, PhD, and he brought me into the treatment world of addiction and recovery, which is not actually something that I sought out. It kind of found me, and yet I always had the intention of wanting to share my own, how I healed myself, to share that with others, and to be a healing presence on the planet. And that I've pretty much always known my whole life, you know. And so he really brought me into that connection. And also we were for a time doing sound baths together. We called it Sonic Sanctuary. And then last but not least is Elijah Ray, who is an incredible musician, sound healer. Just, he's literally one of the most talented musicians I've ever met. And he uses the loop and effect pedals, which I studied under him for about 5 years, and got to learn and train and understand how to actually use my voice as really the main instrument. Whereas before, it was kind of like, oh, I'm afraid to use my voice. Well, let me play a crystal bowl and I could tone behind it, or let me play a harmonium and I could kind of sing and get away with it. But to just hear my voice by itself and then loop it, like, I was terrified of doing that. I never thought I would be singing in front of people, you know? And so he really helped me become more confident in my voice and connect with what I call the human instrument, which is literally, you know, becoming any instrument through your voice and being able to send a transmission of sound, of intention, of frequency to whoever you're delivering that sound to in the space.
How beautiful.
Yeah.
So do you have any like last or a recommendation for people that are wanting to go to a sound bath, or how to experience sound? Like, do you have a recommendation that you can give people on the best way to experience it?
Yeah, so I would say the best way is in person. And you can also, of course, live stream if you can't make it in person, because it still does come through the airways. And good to invest in a good sound system. That'll help too. And so, yeah, I would say if you can come in person, you can come to the Soundbath channel, or also where I do it at the Dance Live Center every month in Santa Monica. And then to just bring whatever you need to make yourself really comfortable and cozy. I call it like making yourself a nest. So you know, it's like just like birds create
the blanket, the pillows,
the yoga mats, all that stuff. You know, yeah. So that's what I would say.
Awesome. Yeah. And now, as we close, you have a big recording project coming up soon, right? Like that you're going to be releasing. You want to say something about that?
Yes, I'm really excited. It's been way too long. I think like 4 years since I put out my last album. So this is a solo live sound healing journey album, and it's called Sonic Womb Live, and you can expect it out June 21st on the summer solstice.
Awesome.
And yeah, and it'll be on my website, which is GabrielLoganBraun.com, and it's going to be amazing. And you can just be prepared to get really, really relaxed and blast off to the cosmos. So
fabulous. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Gabriel. Really happy to now embark on the live stream, and all of Gabriel's details are below. And thank you for tuning into the Soundbath channel, and we'll see you next time.